Spawning up in the top right-hand position of this best of 5, we have got the red Terran player, none other than Revenge. And his opponent down in the bottom left, the teal Protoss, it's weak. Derelict Watcher with the engines that go the wrong way. Always good. You've got to remember the engines. Everyone hates the engines. Or maybe it's just me. Maybe I hate them so much, I try to let it diffuse to you. Feel my hatred of it. There's other things I like on this map. This tile set is the best. It's so awesome. It's like Diablo 3. Shame Diablo 3 wasn't that amazing. Well, it is quite good. I couldn't get into it. I think I overhyped it in my mind how good it was going to be. Heroes of the Storm though, that looks sweet. Even though they're not pitching it to be competitive, but just more of a fun game, it just looks sweet. Really looking forward to that. Gonna be grabbing myself a beta key. Anyway, this game number 1, we saw Weak really come up against some quite early pressure in the form of Widowmine drops, a Reaper that lasted forever, and then just a good timing push with some Medivacs up against Colossi, which didn't have extended thermal launch yet. He lost his 2 Colossi, but counterattacked and got some there anyway. Bided his time, and really just did it devastating amount of damage to Revenge nice and early. So he wasn't able to punish, wasn't able to really come back from that. So GG now. Game number 2 though, Revenge opening a CC first. This is different to the first game. Game 1, it was a Barracks first opening. So already switching things up as a Reaper expand. Now into CC first, but the Probe gonna scout this nice and soon actually, so gonna get a good bit of information. And then there's really 2 ways we could see Weak play this. He could go very aggressive trying to punish it, or he could just expand quickly himself, knowing that the Terran can't really do too much to him anytime soon. Probe backing its way out though, checking for gas, that's the big thing they was trying to get a peek on. Didn't actually check both, interesting. Just wanted to get away, make sure that it did survive. But yeah, Cybercore, Assimilator, both coming down now. Things looking pretty solid here. And the Probe is going to go and place down a pylon very early on. Is this going to get scouted? Well, the SCV isn't headed over there. This would be an unusual place. A proxy, very probable here. And this is an unusual place to proxy. Stargate is what my money's going to be on. Weak potentially going for a quick 2-0 lead. Best of 5, remember though. So it isn't all over. If this works, I'm 90% sure it is going to be a Stargate now. Of course, 3 probes in gas in both the simulators. So, again, if I spotted that before I saw the proxy pylon, would have thought that there was going to be tech coming down anyway. But yeah, proxy Stargate is on its way. The big choice now is Oracle, Void Ray, or Phoenix. Because it's proxied, Oracle is the big choice. It's going to work well. Remember, when you do have an opponent who's gone CC first, the Marine count going to be lower. And therefore, Oracles can deal very well. Currently the Marine count only sitting at 1. 2 coming out at a time though. You need 6 Marines to be able to go head up with an Oracle, but of course an Oracle very quick, and they're still looking at being buffed too, up to increase their speed, which I think personally will really influence the way early game goes and how much Oracles are used. Potentially back to the point like we saw in Heart of the Swarm, where most Protoss players open Oracles, just because they'll be easier to keep alive and harass with. But yeah, additional gateways are coming down here too. This could be some more pressure. Note this SCV is checking everywhere for a proxy, but this location is essentially the only place it hasn't checked. And that's because it's an unusual place to put the proxy. And this could be posing a problem. This SCV really wants to know what's happening. Marines are sitting around thinking something's proxied. It doesn't necessarily even have to be the Stargate. It could be DTs, Proxy Dark Shrine. But it's less common to see that. But that would be why it wasn't so close. So potentially we'll see Revenge not read that entirely correctly, but 3 Marines sitting there at the moment. The Oracle can go head to head with those Marines. That's why we're seeing them engage. Takes them out nice and quick. And now going in for some SCVs. SCVs are getting pulled back, but a few are going to go down. Always frustrating. 2 more Marines come in. They can get focused down. The Oracle will probably have to pull back here. It's going to be very close. Does just survive. 10 HP. I probably would have lost my nerve there and tried to retreat, but the Oracle is now going to go back since more Marines coming out, going to build up the shields. A Void Ray coming out behind them, so the second Void Ray queued up straight after, plus these 3 gates becoming Warp Gates. So that means some ground pressure going to be coming in weak here, now with that Stalker. Remember, the Marine count being shoved back down to 4. The Oracle's still up and alive, so the Void Rays can press the front, deal with this bunker effectively. The Oracle comes in the backs, forcing the Marines to be in 2 places at once, and with such a low Marine count, that's going to be tough to do. SCVs retreating back now. Has something been seen by Revenge? No, it hasn't yet. So he just knows something's up. He is aware that things may not be going too well. Hasn't seen the additional gateways yet, but clearly a little concerned. The second void ray is now out, and this should trigger the start of the push. Warp gates probably nearly off cooldown, so we should see another wave of units come in very soon. There we go, they're on their way now. A sentry joining the other one. That means the force foots can go down the bunker, but the bunker already getting salvaged. Revenge pulling back. And this is such a good play by him. By holding the main, he significantly increases his chances of being able to defend this push. But the void ray is now starting to do damage. The oracle should come in from the side as well. May actually join the main army. Just trying to help. This bunker needs to go down, but will be forced to... Well, it doesn't even get cancelled. Just gets taken flat out. The oracle coming in from the side. This can deal a lot of DPS, and it would force the marines to prioritize fire. But a couple of marines going down early on. Very frustrating. The void ray dealing a nice amount of damage here as well. The SUV starting to get taken out. Weak looking strong. And the damage is just continually being done. The bunker trying to get focused. Prismatic alignment has been triggered, with the wall off now down. Revenge in a very gruesome position. Can he scramble enough units in order to defend this? Will barracks going down won't help. Weak knows that he's in a good spot, and so does Revenge. GG's out. Currently 2-0 to Weak. What will Game 3 have in store?